Welcome to the Weekend Uptake. We are coming to you live from downtown St. Paul in the shadow of Minnesota's capital. Today we have Jim Norton sitting down with Pope Joseph.
Jennifer? Jim's not here today. He's in Mexico.
He's in where?
He's in Mexico. He's either reporting on the drug wars or eating tacos El Pastor in Mexico City.
Okay, Jim Norton officially in Mexico with the drug cartel. What do we do?
Why don't you just toss it to Noah and we'll crack open some beers?
Okay, Noah Kunin is coming up next to give us the update on what's going on with the Coleman versus Franken trial. Noah.
They will now include votes they call illegal in the count. If these points stand in any final order of the court, it will give us no choice but to appeal that order to the Minnesota Supreme Court. It is unfortunate that the court has taken this tact because it continues to disenfranchise thousands of Minnesotans whose votes should be counted, whose votes would have been counted had they lived in just a different jurisdiction. So we are disappointed, but we feel the court is wrong, and we will appeal.
Welcome back to the Weekend Uptake. I'm Tom Elko. With me here is Noah Kunin, senior political correspondent for the Uptake, and he's going to give us all the details about the latest developments in the Coleman-Franken saga. Noah?
Well, as you just heard, Ben Ginsburg, chief spokesman and occasional letter-licker of the Coleman campaign. What he just was talking about was how even though the Election Contest Tribunal has agreed to count 400 ballots, that's much, much less than the 4,797 ballots rejected absentees that the Coleman campaign originally wanted counted. Now, the problem that they've outlined here is that basically some types of ballots were accepted on Election Day that were later on not accepted during the trial section, and they consider that a violation of equal protection, but that's a hotly contested subject among legal circles.
But why only these 400?
These 400 strictly adhered to a certain set of statutory standards Minnesota has set up. Now, Minnesota is actually one of the rare states that doesn't go along with what's called the democracy canon. And the democracy canon is a set of legal principles saying that regardless of what a state's election law is, you have to err on the side of enfranchising a voter. Minnesota is a rare state that posits absentee balloting as separate from that, as a privilege and not a right. So as a result, they had several different rules that all these ballots needed to be passed to be included. They needed to be registered in that precinct that their absentee ballot ended up in. They needed to have proven they didn't vote twice. They needed to have proven they filled out an absentee ballot application. They needed to have a signature on it, legitimate, readable, and it needed to be properly witnessed or signed by a notary. So unless a ballot met all those categories and that evidence was presented to the election contest court, it didn't get in. So according to the court, only 400 even got close to meeting these requirements.
So what's going to be the process over the next couple of days, weeks? How long will this take, and what can we expect? Most
observers are saying that when these ballots are opened on Tuesday, there's almost no chance Coleman could come out, and observers on both sides of the political aisle are saying that. The Coleman campaign has made clear they're going to appeal to the Minnesota Supreme Court. It can go directly to them. Afterwards, if the Minnesota Supreme Court does not rule in Coleman's favor, they can actually apply directly with a writ to the U.S. Supreme Court. They don't need to go through federal appeals court or anything like that. However, the U.S. Supreme Court has complete discretion on when to hear the case, and after they've heard it, how long to take to decide. It's completely up to them. They can take as long or as little time as they so choose.
So what can we expect from the uptake during this whole process?
Well, the uptake on Tuesday is going to be covering the 400 ballots being opened live right here on this channel. And then as the case goes on, we'll certainly bring you the Minnesota Supreme Court oral arguments live. Again, Coleman will be arguing that both equal protection and possibly even due process was violated by different counties adhering to these statutes in different degrees of specificity.
Uptake senior political correspondent Noah Kunin, thank you very much.
Thanks, Tom.
Coming up, our roundtable will discuss gay marriage in Iowa, Plenty's pickle, and other issues of the day. But first, this pre-recorded interview from MinStories featuring Jeremy Iggers of the Twin Cities Media Alliance, Mike Wassener of St. Paul Neighborhood Network, and Japanese Media Studies professor Shinji Uzomi, discussing free speech in a free society.